one day Mitterrand was sitting and eating some food of the Central Cuisine and say, no, not possible. It will not possible. I need something more, personal, more simple. I want to taste the taste of the elements, And he asks his advisor, find me somebody who can give me that, bring me that. So they made an inquiry, all the way during 1 month, just to find a person. And Robuchon was a friend of Jacques Lang, and he said, I knew a lady in Périgord. And in fact, the other element, just to finish that, is that Mitterrand was somebody who was coming from Angoulême, which is a province, and famille bourgeoise, middle class bourgeois. And in those family, at the time, you had a cook, at home, and he had some wonderful memories about the cook that he had at home. So for him, it was like La Madeleine de Proust. When he asked somebody and he chose a woman, he knew that something will, come back from the past.
C'est lui le haut fonctionnaire qui a besoin d'une cuisinière?
Ça, je peux pas vous dire.
Palais par 4 chemins, le président de la République serait très heureux si vous acceptiez de vous occuper des cuisines privées de l'Élysée, c'est-à-dire des repas personnels avec ses amis, ses collaborateurs.
Je suis pas sûre d'être à la hauteur, vous voyez.
Le président pense le contraire.
We didn't focus on everything because there were other things, and we just, what was interesting for us, focus on this game of contradiction between this woman, because it was the first woman who came in Élysée to make some cooking, never before. It was the first time where presidents asked somebody to make special dishes for private cooking, for a private kitchen, which is what not before. There was La Centrale, which was this big kitchen that you see here. But it's the first time that the president asked for, special service for a friend, for, special ministers, etc. So this woman in front of this man's world was really, quite the guideline of this story in the film, and so she told us a lot of things. She wrote a book, which is a mix between experience and receipts. We didn't use a lot about that, and the other part of the film, the second storyline, which is the Antarctic island. It's also true. I mean, she did that a few years after the Palais de l'Élysée, not exactly just after, but for us it was very important, Christian, Vincent and I, just to show the contrast between those two experiences and how each experience lights a little bit the other one. Explain a little bit the other one. And in fact, what she didn't get really at the end of the Élysée, a real recognition for her works, a real, merci, thanks, truly thanks, for what you've done, etc. In fact, in the other parts, she had that, but and it's this contrast who was interesting for us to show, because behind the problem of the film, which is the power of cooking and the cooking of power, the real fact is what kind of recognition do you have for your work,
Les gens que vous croisez, vous les saluez, tous. Je présente Monsieur Luchet.
Madame.
Monsieur.
Daniel, after that, during the shooting, we did ask to sometimes make dishes, but it was too complicated because she's a very tough character woman, not guy, woman. Sorry for the lapses. And in fact, because it's part of her life, we feel a little, dangerous just to have it every day on the shooting, and not every day, but for important scenes on the shooting. And she accepts to trust 3 chiefs that we hired for the film. Christian Vincent explained that very well. I'm not the director, but he explained that very well, saying that in fact cooking is part of the director's job of the director in a film. I mean, you take some elements. Some true elements, some reality, some living elements, and then you compose something, and you have to play between colors, between something crispy and something soft, You have to order a menu, which is a kind of, to make a film, and then you expose it to the public, and the people taste it, and then you have reaction about it, it reminds you something. So in fact, the film telling that a little bit regarding the position of the cook, of the chef, is quite close to in another way that's to directing film.
Oui. Ah, tenez. Exactement celle que me faisait ma grand-mère. Bravo.
It was very important for Christian and for me also to have real dishes. I mean, not something fake, because when you do advertising, for example, you paint the elements, and in fact we were just saying always, no, make it true. We will taste it during the lunchtime first, and also because for the actors to feel, to smell it, and to be in this environment is quite beautiful. So the street cook who made it, because it's very complicated to film the food. I mean, it took 4 or 5 days just to shoot the meals, etc., and to be very precise with different team. We organized a kitchen just near the set, and they were always doing the cooking. So it was very important just to keep it the reality, and we did that. I mean, Laurier de la Belle Aurore, for example, this pâté, beautiful pâté en croûte. It's received by Bria Savarin. He created this recipe for his wife, who was called Aurore. It's a very, very complicated. It takes 4 hours to do that. And so Gérard Besson, who was a chef étoilé français, who knows this recipe very well and did it in his restaurant, prepare it during 3 or 4 days before because we needed to have more than one. We needed to have different one. And it was marvelous. I mean, it was a great, great pleasure to do that, and also to eat them there behind that. I mean, it was a real luck, And the excellence of the French gastronomy has never been very much filmed, in French film. I mean, there are few films about French gastronomy, and most of them are foreign film. Ratatouille, which is, it's a marvelous film. Babette Feast, made by a Danish director. Vatel, but with an American director, Arthur Joffé. And La Grande Bouffe, Ferreri. All the rest are real comedy, popular comedy, not very, So it was very important for Christian and I to make a real classic about, the French food and the pleasure of the French food. And behind that, to discuss about power, the power of the cooking and the cooking of bar. That's it.
Je tapisse les 2 couches de feuilles de chou, une couche de saumon. Là. Ici. Jean-Marc, s'il vous plaît, je prendrais bien un petit peu de gros sel. Merci. Et je renouvelle l'opération. Il va falloir vous y faire.
Pardon.
Quand je cuisine, il faut que je parle, il faut que je raconte tout ce que je fais. C'est comme ça.
Catherine made 1 week of cooking school with Daniel Delpeux. But the other actor now.
Excusez-moi, j'ai dû me tromper.
Vous êtes?
Je suis votre cuisinière, Monsieur le Président. Cuisine privée de la présidence de la République, j'écoute. Nous allons commencer par une brouillade de cèpe au cerfeuil.
J'ai besoin de retrouver le goût des choses.
Jean Dormesson is a very famous novelist in France, very appreciated, and he's kind of old school guy, very, very raffiné, and in fact it was a concours de circonstances, because in fact the beginning the president should be played by another actor, and 1 week before the shooting the other actor said it wouldn't be possible. He was doing theater and other things. And so we just take the chance to say, okay, don't take. What happened if we don't take a real actor? Because the feeling was to create a good relationship between this woman, Catherine Fro, which is a very well-known actress in France, and to have something unique with another person. We had in mind that it was more interesting to have somebody, a unique confrontation. So we're looking to have a person which not an actor. And Jean d'Ormesson is exactly the same generation of François Mitterrand. He absolutely not looking like him, but he has exactly this same education. He's a literary man. Gravitas, yeah, gravitas. He has exactly the same parcours. I mean, he did some letter studies at the Agrégation. Politically, he was an opposite of Mitterrand, but Mitterrand loves the guy. He was absolutely fan of him. And the last person that Mitterrand asked to come, the journalist in Palais de l'Élysée, before he left l'Élysée, was Jean d'Ormesson. And they had a discussion about literature, about cooking, because Mitterrand was a great fan of cooking. And so they had exactly the same taste. I mean, so it was very funny to play the character of the Mitterrand by somebody who was also his adversary in politics, but who had exactly the same kind of character. So yes, it was an experience, and it was not easy because for him it was the first time he played. It was a dream for him to play when since he was a kid. Nobody never asked him. So when I phoned him and said Jean d'Ormesson would like, for him it was absolutely. Are you sure I'm going to be? So he was like a kid. Every day was thankful to everybody, and he loved it.
It's very good.
It's good. And he has a little distance, and not sometimes very comfortable. But when you look, for example, videos of President de la République, like Chirac, Pompidou, De Gaulle, even Mitterrand, they have always this, very position, very, very not natural. But so it looks like. We had the great luck to have the possibility to shoot in the Élysée. So there were 4 days in shooting at l'Élysée. Mainly the big living rooms, the corridors, the entrance. It was impossible to shoot the kitchen of the Élysée. We recreated in studios.
Why not?
Because it's every day you have services, and so we had many scenes in the kitchen, so it was impossible. But we recreate something which looked a little bit like that. And no, we had this opportunity, and I think it was very important also to be, in the place of the power, just to feel it a little bit. And yeah, we were lucky for that. It was during the G20, the meeting with Barack Obama and Sarkozy, and at the end, we knew that he had to come back the Friday, I think, at 6 o'clock, and so we had to leave the 3 days just at 2 o'clock because there was security service everywhere, and so we would just say Barack Obama and Nicolas Sarkozy, keep on going, please keep on going. We have to shoot.
C'est moi le dessert. Vous, c'est entrée, plat, fromage.
Château Rayas 1969. Vous savez s'il a fini son chou?
Et il l'a mangé avec plaisir.
Parfait.
Un bon point pour lui.
On peut garder ce président à l'Élysée.
2 petits pâtés de foie gras et j'emmerde la diététicienne.
On vous fait des misères ces temps-ci. À moi aussi.
Tout ce travail a un coût.
Mais c'est beaucoup trop.
Alors, si vous ne m'aimez pas, je ne vous aime pas non plus.
Je vous parlerai pendant des heures de cuisine. Je finis par me demander si ça ne vaudrait pas mieux que de m'occuper de politique.